Everyone needs to move back, we're told. The Queen has spoken. Malka. Well, welcome. Welcome to our final class on Ein Habdolach. I cannot believe we made it. I don't know if you realize, but it's been about 10 hours of information, classes, on a subject that can go on for a longer time. We really cut out a lot of pieces that are really important, but we could do what we could do. And tonight's class, our final class, is all about the how-tos. Okay, it's all about the how-tos. It's all coming as a guide and as a resource to feel better in life, to feel better. And I speak to a lot of people. And a lot of people are kind of struggling with very similar issues. People are struggling with anxiety. I'll tell you the main ones that I'm finding most often. Anxiety is a big one, which is horrible because it feels physical very, very much, even though it's coming from a spiritual place. And people are fighting with loneliness, a lot of loneliness, feeling like they always have to have kind of like a wall up, a shield to protect themselves, and that shield gets very, very heavy. I don't have to tell you, shield gets very heavy, it gets very daunting, it feels very isolating, it feels like you can't really trust anyone because of previous experiences of trust and then hurt. So over the years we just get harder and more isolated, and we have to maintain this level of like, I got this, everything is fine, I'm doing really well, I'm really successful. Social media, basically. Social media, like we're walking around like social media expects us to, or wants us to post, I'm here and I'm feeling amazing, and look at all my friends, and look at all my money, and look at all my cars, and look at all my things and my accomplishments, and I'm doing amazing, and I'm so skinny, and I'm so healthy, and I'm so shining, and I'm so bright, right? And human beings we can't live our lives like that. We can't live our lives. Human beings, by definition, have cycles. We have cycles in our emotional well-being and our spiritual well-being, and that's what allows us to propel ourselves forward. And that's what allows us to change and evolve. We don't just change because we got older. We didn't change because of the actual time. When you were 20, you were a different human, yes? Yes? You were different. Now when you look back at when you were 20 years old, you were like, thank God I didn't get married then. Thank God I didn't make any big life decision then, right? Because now I know so much more, so much better, that where my mind was then, how I was thinking then. But it doesn't just happen from time. It happens from life, from experiences, from the things that we bump into over the course of our journey here, and then those things make us draw conclusions. And then we live by those conclusions. Like, let me not be vulnerable, because vulnerability is weakness. Then we have these statements in our heads, let me always look a certain way, or talk a certain way, or present myself a certain way, just so I can maintain this level of normalcy, that people will walk away from me and say, oh, she has it together, or she's so cute, or he's so accomplished and successful, right? And we're humans. Back in the day, people lived in villages. Back in the day, the village raised the child. Back in the day, people were there by each other's side, always. And today, if there's a problem in someone's life, then there's shame that comes along with it. Let me hide this. Let me put this away. I don't want anyone to know about this. Or if I do tell someone about it, I'm nervous to tell people, because if I share my inner world with another person, who knows, right? So we have our few, hopefully, few close friends and family members that we're connected to, and those are the people that we share with. Anyone else that asks us, how are you? Good. And if you're religious, Baruch Hashem, right? Because I don't want people to think I'm a basket case. I don't want people to think I don't have my life together. So those are the main things: anxiety and loneliness, and I think that everything else that I see kind of manifests from that, from the anxiety and the loneliness. Like people that are having issues with body image, issues with, and these are, it's like every human, and this is what I've learned in the last year, every human, from my experiences, is walking around with so many things, open drawers in their minds. Open drawers in their minds, where there's this that I have to do, and that I'm grappling with, and this is a challenging experience, and that thing that I'm really like, I can go for this and be successful, but maybe perhaps I'm not going to be successful. So people hold themselves back from really executing and putting themselves forward and stepping out of their comfort zone and either starting a new business or a new thing or partnership and putting themselves in unfamiliar territory. And there, in those areas, people with their open drawers can make really, really bad decisions. Because the open drawers, and that's what we're going to go into tonight, and that's what we're going to learn. We're going to learn, God willing, the equation of, and this equation is a life-saving tool. It's a life-saving tool. It's not just a life-saving tool like if I do this enough, then I'll get closer to God. That also happens, as a by the way. But what happens after I do this, after I put the technique into work, into effect, and I learn and I start to see my life the way I'm supposed to see it, and not just kind of like get hit by the waves of life. Like, when you're in the ocean and you're talking to a friend, all of a sudden a wave hits you in the face, right? And you're like, whoa, and you like didn't expect it. So we can't live our life like that. Like just kind of trying to get by and not get hurt, and just shy away from anything that looks bigger and different than what we're used to. But we do end up living our lives like that. We do end up living our lives like what you call in Hebrew alish ktana, on a low flame. I stay within the parameters of what I know, of what I'm familiar with, and there, at least I know the darkness there. I'm familiar with the darkness. I'm familiar with the feelings. I'm familiar with the loneliness. I'm familiar with the environment. At least I'm familiar with it. And there, this comfort zone that's called a misery comfort zone is still comforting in some way. It still keeps me safe. People that don't have open drawers in certain areas, let's say for example, a person that doesn't have an open drawer in the area of success. They're not scared of their own success. They're not scared of taking a leap. They're not scared of taking a risk. They're not scared of moving forward. They're not scared of, even though they might have butterflies in their stomach, and even though they might be putting a lot of money or time on the line, but they're not scared of it because they don't have an open drawer associated with it. And again, what are these open drawers? Open drawers are like what we said 2 classes ago, the images, the tziyurei nefesh. The images, the experiences that I previously had with something that smells like what I'm involved in right now, or what I could get involved in right now, right? It smells like it, and then based on my experiences, my tmunot, my tziyurei nefesh, based on that, that's how normal people that are not in the work react to what's in front of them. But they're not going to go like, oh, I was hurt by an old girlfriend or an old boyfriend, so now I'm sitting across from this person who seems so nice, so great, so up my alley. But what my brain is going to do, because I have this open drawer, that I have this unfinished business, that I have this trauma, call it what you want to call it, right? But it's what I'm working off of. It's my experiences that I'm working off of. So now this person, my brain will try to somehow sabotage this relationship. Because I'm already envisioning her, oh, she reminds me of this person, oh, she talks like that person, oh, is he cheap, or is he just frugal, or is he just, because that was my ex. And so our minds immediately go to the missing tile syndrome, immediately go to the missing tile, right? There could be a whole floor of tiles, but the one tile that's missing is the one tile that you're going to see. You're not going to see the 1,000 tiles that are there. You're going to see the hole in the middle. You're going to see what's missing. And that's how our brains work. If you were to take a blank sheet of paper and put a black dot on the sheet of paper, I would ask you, what do you see? What would you say? A black dot. You only see it, but what about the whole white sheet of paper? I see a black dot, because that's how we're programmed to see our lives. So can you imagine, we had some bad experiences, or we've seen bad relationships, whether it was at home with our parents, or whether it is wherever we were over the course of our lives, from when we're little and in general, from what we're absorbing when we're little. There's no direction in that experience. It's like if an adult doesn't help us navigate this hard experience, then we will naturally, as a child, associate it with ourselves. Oh, my parents got divorced, it's my fault. Oh, the kids in school are making fun of me, it's because I'm dumb, because I'm stupid. That's how the simple mind works. That's how the young brain works. And then if we don't, as adults, understand that those connections are still there, then that's what's shooting us in the foot in our life, in business, in relationships, and everything, in every aspect of our life. And we don't realize that our minds are going in so many directions in order to help us avoid that pain, because we've experienced that pain before. So I'm going to look at him and I'm going to say, he's this, in order for me not to get into a relationship with him because I really don't want to get hurt again. Or I'm going to say, that job is that because of my past experiences with a boss that seemed similar or whatever. But again, it's not conscious, it's subconscious. So what we're learning tonight and what we're going to be doing tonight is something magical. Magical, because it's you get so much further, right? Knowledge is power. When you know things, when you know how to work on things, when you know that you're a work in progress, when you know that you're dealing with. It's almost like having a child that's not well, God forbid, and telling him, can you just be normal? Just be normal. Why do you have to be weird? Like, stop doing what you're doing. Stop dropping things and not getting good marks in school and not doing your homework or being aggressive with other kids or your baby brother or whatever it is. Can you just be normal? All that's going to accomplish is him feeling more not normal. It's him feeling more not regular. And then he's going to act on that more. So our internal conversation with ourselves needs to be one of patience. Yes. Based on all the classes that we've learned, everything in your life is 100% a manifestation of you and your thoughts and what you think is coming to you and what you think is not coming to you. Let's say, for example, I had a friend that grew up in a home that was pretty dysfunctional, and she never had her mother like organize her room. It was kind of like whatever. Her stuff was everywhere. She had bedding from when she was like 3 years old, when she was already 20, like just pretty dysfunctional. And I remember when she left her house, when she left her parents' house, when she moved out, she couldn't unpack. She didn't know where to start. She had like no frame of reference, right? Because she never saw it in her house. She never saw her mother like take on a room and like, unpack and make it homey. She never saw that. She never had that experience. She didn't have that siyul nefesh. She had the other one. She had the opposite of that. She had boxes around for years that were unpacked, they were still packed, that her family used to rummage through, right, for years. So when she was out on her own, she didn't know even how to like go to a restaurant and decide what she wanted to eat. She didn't know how to look at the menu and say, okay, I want this. She couldn't find it. She couldn't do it. And I remember unpacking her stuff for her and putting it on the shelves, and I remember telling her like it's really very simple, like it's not such a hard thing to do. We're just gonna put away your stuff, and then we're gonna put some sheets on your bed, and voila, you're done. Basically, if you want to get some accessories, you can, but like you're basically done. You don't have to live like you're homeless. And for her, it was not simple like it was for me. So what I'm trying to say is that really, it could be that relationships and navigating relationships is really not that complicated or difficult. We see it. Majority of the world is married. That's statistically speaking. Thank God. As we stand today. We'll see what happens in 10 years from now. But majority of the world is in a relationship. Majority of the world is not alone. Majority of the world is not homeless. Majority of the world is making money. Majority of the world is, so meaning it's within, but since we're part of the human race, it's possible for us to have those things that we want in our lives. But the only thing that's kind of sabotaging our way, our access to the thing that we want is our tziyur nefesh, is our past experiences, is what we think is larger than life, and to somebody else it's like, it's nothing. It's larger than life and it's nothing. Right? Imagine like teaching your parents how to send a WhatsApp. How was that? How was that? Teaching them how to use an emoji. Anyone want to share some? Should we have like a circle, like a therapy session here? Why? Because they're working with nothing. They have no frame of reference. They never had to do this before. So to them it's so complicated. To us it's so simple. It's so simple because there's no problem with it, but they have such a blockage because computers and technology and all, so they have such an emotional blockage. So all of a sudden they're looking at something that's really objectively so simple, but it turns into this like mega issue for them. And they have all these things that are coming up for them, right? That they can't do it, and it's too complicated, I don't know, somebody else has to fix it for me, someone has to put it for me, someone else has to do it, right? And that's exactly how we are. That in other words, the thing that we're after, the way we want to live our life, the way we want to see ourselves fly, not just live, get up every day, have the same kind of day, basic stuff all the time, but really, really maximize ourselves, our potential, our happiness, being in a space where we're lovers of mankind, lovers of humanity, lovers of nature, lovers of God, lovers of life. And being able to look back at 120 or 90 or whenever that's going to be on our rocking chair and say, I lived an amazing life. I wasn't caught up in this like maze with myself for so long and I missed out on such a big chunk of life. So we could either go to therapy for endless years. That's an option. And I'm not against therapy. But there's something to say about going to therapy once a week. And in addition, knowing the map and how to heal myself, as opposed to going to a therapist and hoping that this person will heal me, fix me, help me for 30 years. Right? Because if you're doing it together, if you're speaking out your emotions, speaking out your feelings, speaking out your challenges with someone, and then at the same time learning the internal language of your nefesh and working on it, working the steps, then it's a matter of a few weeks before you're in a whole different space, before you're in a whole different vibe, before you're attracting a whole different set of things and people. But our most important piece here in this whole course, I think, is to remember that I am partners in creation with God. I am partners in the creation of my life with God. So it's very easy to say, it's not me, it just happened to me. My parents raised me this way, God did this to me, I was at the wrong place at the wrong time, it's not my fault. As long as we're in that space, we'll never ever really fully be able to change our lives. Move them, upgrade. We all want an upgrade, right? We all want to upgrade our phones, upgrade our cars, upgrade our homes, upgrade. Because human beings need that. Human beings need to see things that are moving and changing. So we all want an upgrade, and then the highest and the best upgrade that we can possibly do is an upgrade on our nefesh, because once the nefesh gets upgraded, everything gets upgraded. Okay. So what I sent you to the WhatsApp group, if you can open up those notes, we're going to look inside today. If anybody has any questions, please don't be shy. You can even call out. Bless you. You have such a cute sneeze. Okay. Okay, here we go. We're all in. Download it. It's on the ITV group. Do you have it? Ruby, you have it, right? I sent it to you. Okay, here we go. You have attracted what you have and pushed away what you don't. And again, we push away the things that we might want. We might want them, but we push them away, again, because of all these tracks, because of all these images, okay? Because of what we're working off of. What do you want? Clarifying that with yourself is major. Ratzon equals will, want. Okay, we said this last week. We each have real and fake wants. Woman who wants to lose weight but can't control her impulses. It's not that she doesn't want to lose weight. She just wants what's enticing her right now more. Okay? So it's really, really, really important. Like when I ask people, like when I life coach and I ask people, so what do you want? What do you want to get out of these sessions? So people go on this like, very general, very beautiful, very, like almost like a dreamy kind of response is like, I just want to be good. I want my life to work. I want to fall in love. And I want to be happy. So that's not what I mean when we say wants. Wants are, what do you want? What do you want? That's something really, 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 really important. What are the things that you want that if, God forbid, you would leave this world tomorrow It would be like, that would be the saddest thing in the world for you, that you didn't experience that, have that, live that, breathe that, taste that. What do you want? How much do you want it? How much do you want it? Again, if we're going to be just, passively living our life, passively means like I'm doing the same things that I usually do. I'm not taking really any courageous steps outside of self. And I'm just, I'm this. So if I really, really, really want something, I have to get clear on what it is that I want. And that's it. Number one, get clear on your wants, on your desires. And your wants are not something that, I want to be happy, I want to be in love, you for sure want that. For sure want that. Just like the girl here wants to lose weight. She wants to lose weight and she wants to eat it too. So what does she really want? What's her highest desire? What's her deepest desire? For what?
To lose weight.
For?
To lose weight.
If your desire is to really, really lose the weight, let's say, then there's nothing standing in front of you. Meaning, when was the last time you wanted something and knew you were going to get it and you got it? I remember getting my driver's license. I was driving since I'm 14. My father used to let me drive his car until I froze his engine. And then I went to get my driver's license. But in New York, you have to go through these tests and whatever ridiculous stuff. And I was like, I walked in. I'm 17 years old, and I've been driving for 3 years. And all these new drivers are just 10 and 2, 10 and 2, 10 and 2. Okay, gear. Okay, wait, gas pedal, brake. Okay, wait. Right. So I walk into the car, and stupidly, no one told me that I should act like that. But I walk into the car, and I put my hand on the steering wheel, and then just and I'm driving, and like that. And she's looking at me, and she's just filling out these check boxes, filling them out. And then I park. What's the parking that you do? What's it called? Parallel parking. I parallel parked, and I didn't do it the way they wanted you to do. They wanted you to stand, and they wanted you to look over a thing, and they wanted you to have the whole thing. So I just leaned over, backed up, and parked, and I failed. I failed, and I couldn't believe that I failed. I failed 5 times. Because every single time I tried to be nerdy, and I couldn't do it.
Is that why you want to meet a job?
And but I remember being so dedicated. I knew that I was going to get a driver's license. There was nothing that was going to stand in the way of me in that car, nothing. And I showed up there every single Sunday, coming again with my yellow slip, I'm here again. And then I finally got it. I finally got my driver's license. But that's something that you're getting. For a person that grew up in a very, let's take this example, a person that grew up in a very broken down house, no money, barely any food in the fridge. When they get older, they can go down one of 2 paths. Either one, work off of their tziyurei nefesh, work off of their past experiences, and then kind of follow the footsteps of their parents, and there's never any money, and it's so hard to make money, and the house is falling apart, and it's not, right, it's cold, you can't turn on the heat, all these things, right, because that's what they're working, that's where they come from. Or they're going to go to the other extreme. Right? Which is, they're going to have a lot of money. They're going to have a big house. They're going to give their kids everything that they didn't get. Right? So the way the psyche works, it's very simple. It's a choice. What we're naturally inclined towards is only because of the pictures that are in our subconscious. That's it. So what's the formula? So what are we getting from this whole understanding? What are we getting? What's the bottom line premise here? Change the... Am I a bad teacher? Or are you bad students? What?
Change the story.
Change the tmunot. Change the tziyurei nefesh. Meaning, if there was a way for us to get into the back files here and just toss out parents fighting, dysfunctional marriages, low self-esteem, alcohol, things that we've seen over the course of our life. Okay, we toss them out. If there was a way for us to get to those files and toss them out, all we have to do right now is do exactly what we want to do, and nothing's standing in my way. There's no fear. There's no, I don't know how to do this. I'm not sure. I'm scared. There's none of that. It's, there's a singles event. I hate them. I'm gonna go anyway, right? Because now I don't hate them anymore. Because now I don't see it as hi. So where are you from? And I don't want to say it again because I just said it 14 times. I'm from Tokyo. I don't want to say it again. I know. But if we go in right? If we, based on our tziyur nefesh, that's what we experience singles events to be. If we were able to toss that tziyur nefesh and walk into an event and just be like, you know what? I'm surrounded by like 200. How many were there? 230 Jews at that very cool event that I almost left my children to come for, like alone. God forbid, I would never do that, but I really, really wanted to come. If I would toss that experience, okay, that I usually have, and I would come in with a different understanding, so really the question is, so how do you get to the different understanding? We're going to get there. That's what this class is all about. I'm just building on this, okay? We're making it dramatic a little bit. So if I were to walk in right now and see it as a whole different kind of opportunity, this is a different opportunity. These are new faces. These are souls. These are my brothers and sisters. I'm here as a giver. I'm not here as a taker. I'm not here as a taker. I'm not here to see who's for me and who's hot and who's cute and who should I talk to. I'm not looking for me. I am looking to give. I am looking to make another person smile and walk away feeling like, oh, that was nice. Someone listened to me for 2 minutes and not talked over me or looked behind me when I was answering their question or looked over my head. Like, I have an opportunity right now, wherever I am in my life, to either be a giver or to be a taker. And as long as I'm in the place of giving, no matter where I am, even if I'm there to take, but I put myself in a position of giving, which is making the other person happy, making the other person smile, giving the other person a cup of water, I don't know, something, right? Training my eyes to be the giver here, I will walk away with a whole different experience. It's not going to be another singles event. It's going to be, wow, I feel so full. When you feel empty, you end up going volunteer somewhere, hopefully. Right? Because we understand that when I go and help another person, when I go to the hospital and sing a song for sick children, okay, and come out of my head for like 15 minutes, and my worries and my problems and my struggles and my challenges and why am I not married and why don't I have this together and where's my money and where's my job and no, my whole situation, if I say 1 second, hang on a second, you come here, you sit here, don't move. I know you're going to be there when I get back, so hang on, right? And then you come out of yourself and put yourself in a position where you're the giver. You're making someone else smile. How do you walk out of that situation? You walk out with a feeling that we use the word full. We don't feel as empty. Because that's the nefesh. Nefesh is talking to us. Nefesh is sending us signs, signals. This works. Yes. Do more of this. Doing more of this will help with all of that. Doing more of this somehow, spiritually, they're aligned. The more I'm in my head and the more I think about how to solve my own issues and my own problems and get out of my maze called AKA my life, the more I'm there, the more I bury myself in that kind of grave. It doesn't make a difference. It doesn't help really. Because I have the same brain. I have the same information in my brain to deal with the same issue that I haven't been able to deal with till now. So what's going to be new now? Nothing. I'm not going to come up with anything new. Nothing. I could come up with something new, or I could have more shefa, more blessing, more light, more clarity. I could get more clear on my life when I shift my energy. Shifting my energy always 100% has to do with being a mashpia and not being a koach mekabel atzmo, taking. If you feel like things are really, really, really cruddy for you right now, hunt someone down and be like, can I buy you a meal? Or, child, can I cross you the street? No, I'm 10 years old. Let me cross you the street. Okay? Can I pick out your garbage? Right? Go to your friend's house and just start doing their dishes. It's for you. Something fills inside of our nefesh, gets healed inside of our nefesh, and we're going to understand it soon, when we do those things. And then we get clarity on all of our beef that we have with ourselves. Okay? That's a really, 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 really important thing because we don't naturally go there. We naturally go to like, oh, I'm in a rut, I'm just going to dig my grave even deeper. Just all you have to do right now, okay, all we have to do right now is say, pause to rut, even though I just want to go to that rut and I want to just be in that rut and I want to just be in it and I feel so bad for myself and my life is so horrible and I feel so lonely and it's so hard. I'm not underestimating any of that. I'm just saying, you want to stop feeling that? Do we want to stop feeling that, or do we want to continue to propel this thing forward? And then until we're 75 years old, cry to our kids and our grandkids about what we didn't do and how the life that we missed and our mistakes and, this is not working for me and that's not working for me and this is so hard for me and that's so hard for me, because it doesn't end just because we get old and gray and we get wrinkles. Doesn't mean nothing inside changes unless we take the steering wheel and start steering it. Okay, one second, emotions that are coming up for me that want me to stay in my bed for the next 3 days and not do anything besides for eat. Let me talk to you for a second. You're important. You matter. I care about you. I care that you're hurt. I care that you're struggling. I care that you're in a challenge. I care. But right now, me, as I am right now, I can't change the situation. I'm in it. I'm buried in it. Head in. I can't see anything. I'm feeling it. I'm totally subjective. I'm totally knee-high in it. I can't help you. I can't help you, self. But let me do this, and when I come back from this, I'll be able to help you more. Okay. So, let's continue. Getting clear on what we want. Okay? Your ratzon, your will, really is for what you're going after, not for what you say or you feel you want. Proof is in the pudding. How do you know what you really want? Look at your life. Okay? That's what you really want. Look at your life right now. That's where your desires are. It could be that, one time I took my kid to the park, and it was just one time. I never took him back. And he was like jumping for the monkey bars. He wanted to reach the monkey bars. So he was like this. I'm like, seriously? You're not going to reach the monkey bar if you're like, you're not trying. I didn't say this to him. I was nice. I said, okay, sweetie. You want to run and jump? Maybe I'll help you. It'll give you momentum. No, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm like, listen, you're tall enough that if you jump high enough with strength, thank you so much, you'll be able to reach the bar. Do you want to reach the bar? It always depends on the want. Do you want to reach the bar? He says yes. I said, Alicia, how much do you want to reach the bar? He says, I really, really want to reach the bar. So I said, since you really want to reach the bar, we do breakthrough in the park. Since you really, really want to reach the bar, this is what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to say to yourself, I am going to get to that bar. Say it. I am going to get to that bar. He's like all like a caveman about it. So I said, okay, good. Say it again. I am going to get the bar. I am going to get the bar. Good. Now, when you jump like you want it, like you say you want it. Okay? And then he jumped. Boy, did he jump. He jumped and he was like on fire. He was so happy for himself. I was so proud of him. That's us. I want money. I want to lose weight. I want to keep Shabbat. I do. That's us. What do you want? Do you want to reach the bar? How much do you want to reach the bar? Tell me for real. Don't lie to me. Say it to yourself. Don't BS me. Tell me what you want really. Do you really want it? I really want it. Yeah, you really want it? I really, really want it. Good. So now that you're clear on what you really, really want, your approach to it can't just be, I tried. I went to singles and I couldn't find anyone, so there's no one for me. Okay? Where's Ben and Jerry? They're cute. I'll hang out with them. That's not really wanting it. That's giving yourself a check and saying, see, I get points for effort. I don't really want it. When you want something, like you want a driver's license, you do what you got to do to get it. Okay? So that's what's really, 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 really crucial here, is that the want is really needs to get very, very clear in your heads. Okay? What do you want? How hard are you ready to work for it? How hard? Anyone that I life coach, I always tell them, are you ready to get dirty? Are you ready to get dirty? Because if you're not ready to get dirty, we can't work. Because that could be so inspiring, and I can really sit here and be like, wow, your life is so hard. Wow, it's so awful. Why I feel so bad. And I can cry with you. I've cried with some people. They tell us not to do that. You can't cry with your people, but I cry with some people. Or say, I love you so much. I care about you so much. You're literally in the clenches, all the things that you're feeling, the brokenness, everything that you're experiencing, all those negative feelings that you're walking around inside. Those are what's holding you back. Those are what you're going to get more of if you keep complaining and keep digging your hole deeper and deeper and deeper. Do you want to work. If you want to work, are you willing to get dirty? And willing to get dirty means do things that you've never done before. All in the name of reaching that bar. Where are you going?
So we're going to go somewhere, apologize.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll figure out something. I'll text you and make it up to me.
Thank you.
Bye. Enjoy. I feel like my child is sneaking out, at night. Where are you going? I'm going to synagogue, Mother. Are you dressed like that? So here. So let's continue. Here we go. Okay, bottom line understanding. Okay, and this is the part where we're willing to get dirty. To know what you really want, you need to take a good look at your life and everything in it. The good, the bad, and the ugly. That is your inner script, and that is what you are attracting. That is what something inside you keeps calling back to. Now, if you're always bumping into abusive people, okay? If you're always bumping into not having enough money at the end of the month and having more month at the end of the money, if you're always in the same kind of rut for years, okay, it means that you're trying to reach the bar and you want the bar, but you're not jumping as high and as forceful as you can towards the bar. You're not. Why are we not? We're not only because of the wounds in the nefesh. That's it. Not because we're not motivated enough, we're not smart enough, we don't want it enough. We're not because we literally have resistance that's holding us back. Every single time I want to approach somebody, I want to do something that I really want to do, or every single time I apply to that job, or every single time I go for something that I normally I have fears around, like for example dating, like for example anything that has to do with money or whatever it is. Those are the big things that usually come up because those are the things that really impact our lives, which is love and money. Okay? So, but based on how I feel around them, that's how I'm going to experience them. And it's not because I'm a bad person, it's not because I don't have what it takes, and it's not because I'm not motivated to be married or to have money or to really get my life stable and the way I want it to be. It's only because of the nefesh. And now we're going to go into the nefesh. And now we're going to learn how to clear out the nefesh, clear out those old discs, get them out, and stop working off of patterns that we've seen and absorbed our entire life. Okay? Because whether you realize it or not, your brain is shaped based on your experiences and the parents that you've had and the life that you had. Okay, so how to change the script and move towards a healthier, more balanced, more spiritual life. Let's dive right in. Okay, so situation comes up, look inside if you can. Situation comes up or a feeling you have because of something someone said or did, etc. 3 questions to ask yourself. What is bothering me? Where is it? How do I fix it? Okay, so basically you're in a situation where there's a stimulus. Okay, someone's yelling at you, someone fired you, someone wasn't nice to you. Something happened in your life that made you walk away feeling bad. Okay? Whether it's anxious or sad or depressed or whatever the feeling is, or angry, okay? Something happened, it elicited a reaction, an emotional reaction. Great, that's a stimulus. Okay? Great. Number 1, you ask yourself in the moment that you were offended, in the moment that you were triggered in whatever way, you ask yourself, what's bothering me? It's bothering me that he spoke to me that way. It's bothering me that they're not respectful towards me. It's bothering me that they don't appreciate me. It's bothering me. These things are bothering me. Good. Now you know what's bothering you. Next, where is it and how do I fix it? We're going to get into the where is it in a second. What is bothering me? Ask yourself questions to help you get an understanding of your feelings. Now remember this. Your feelings are child. Okay? Child comes home from school, sad. Child says, this and this person hurt my feelings today. Bad mom or dad would say, suck it up, get over it, be a man, move on. Bad child, bad parent. Okay? I'm sure there are some people that would be like, what do you mean? That's healthy. But, okay. Good parent, I'm being so like, okay. Let's say good parent would say, what happened? Tell me what happened. Share with me your feelings. Right? Same thing with ourselves. Bad person to self is, oh, you're so stupid. Why do you keep getting offended by these morons? Who are they? Who cares about them? You're so dumb. You're so fragile. You're so sensitive. What's wrong with you? Why do you keep getting bad parenting? Bad parenting. If you are putting yourself down, putting stigmas on yourself, calling yourself names, feeling like it was your fault because you sabotage everything, because you estrange everyone, because you never get it right, because you, whatever it is, that conversation has to stop. End. Pasuk. No more. No more. That's the first step in all of the changes. First step in all of the changes is child comes home with feelings, the feelings surface. How do you answer them? How do you process them? How are you with them? I remember I think it was the second class that I said that if you're feeling overwhelmed, like these things are, I'm feeling stuck in this and this and this area. So the thing to say to yourself is, I don't have money, I don't have a job, I don't have a friend, I don't have a lover, I don't have a health, I don't have whatever. And I love it. Why and I love it? Because then if you end the sentence with, and I'm an idiot, and obviously, and my mother was right, or my father was right, or whatever it is, you see how it's just going to it's going to exacerbate the whole experience, right? It's just going to put you in a really, really bad place energetically, really, really bad. Like you just want to hide under your covers, full of shame. But if you say, and I love it, it means what you're sending to yourself, the message that you're sending to yourself is, I am a work in progress. My life is a work in progress. How old am I? 20, 30, 40, 50? I'm a work in progress. This life is a journey. So right now, you don't know where your money's going to come from. And right now, as of today, this moment, you don't know whether you're going to be in a relationship or not being in a relationship, or have kids or not have kids, or whatever it is. You don't know as of right now. But that's good. Because if we knew everything that was going to happen for us our entire lives, and we had the whole thing mapped out, and we were psychics, then we would not try, or it would be different. The best wouldn't come out of us. The best wouldn't come out of us. When do people get strong? People get strong when there's resistance, just like in the gym. People get strong when there's resistance, not when it's easy. The resistance is coming into our lives, the situations that we don't know how to maneuver in, situations that we don't know how to deal with, the situations that we don't know how to get out of, that we don't know how to improve. Those are blessings. Those are blessings, because those are coming to literally shift us and shake us and mold us and break us and bend us and make us into this person that we don't even know exists inside of us, aka potential. So we're bumping into all these things, like, you know, when you go like whitewater rafting and like you fall off the boat, speaking from experience, and then you like crash into a rock, and then the wave throws you against another boat, and right, and then right, that is exactly the challenges in our life. That is exactly what they come in for. That's exactly what it comes, because if it were up to us, we would just like back float to 120 with a pina colada and the sun shining on us, and we would never meet ourselves. We would never know our strengths. We would never know what we're capable of. We would never be able to look our fears in the eye and say, I've been fearful of you for 25 years. I am done. We would never have that beast come out and say, I want to live. I'm so sick and tired of feeling sorry for myself. I'm so sick and tired of the same old, and the same patterns, and eating the same foods when I'm down, or responding the same way when I'm angry. I'm so sick of my own broken record. I'm done. And then you come out. And then you bust out of yourself. But it's only with the challenges, and it's only with the addictions, and it's only with the stressors, and it's only. Okay, so everything, life is only good or bad based on how we view it, based on how we see it. We can see it better if we start to create our vessels again, recreate them. So let's continue. What is bothering you? Ask yourself the question to get an understanding of your feelings. Do I miss someone who is really not good, healthy for me? Am I offended by someone's remark or lack thereof? Do I feel disrespected, not heard? Do I feel judged, criticized, made fun of, taken for granted, etc., etc.? How do I feel? Find out how you're feeling. Number 2, where is it? A person is their will. Okay? You are your will. You can want. Bottom line, what you choose is what you are. Okay? Where does a person get his will for something? His attraction, desire for something specific, for example, a person, a drug, situation, illness. Where does the desire come from for that thing that's not healthy for me, for that thing that's not good for me? How desirable is it when you're angry to lash out? How non-desirable is it to stay inside of yourself and say, you know what, I'm not going to respond. I'm just going to go to my room and breathe to 10. Like, excuse me, right? You want to lash out because there's something in the anger that's there, that's calling you. You want to lash out. You want to respond in anger, right? So what's this attraction to all these situations in our life? The drug, the illness, the person that's not good for us, referring to his usual responses to life situations as well. Anger, sadness, emotional paralysis, feeling like a victim, etc. All these things that we have, nitiyah towards. How do you say nitiyah? Not a drive. A pull towards? A pull towards, I guess. We have a nitiyah towards this thing, right? Towards, what's that? Attraction? No, it's more of like a pull. No, nitiyah is more of like a tendency. Yes, it's exactly the word, tendency. Thank you. So when we have a tendency where we're pre-programmed for something, then every single time it comes up, it's like when you see the mice, like you set up their traps and you put the cheese, and it's like stupid mice. They keep getting caught in the stupid thing. I don't understand. Then they see their brother and their father and their mother, and all of them get. Why would you do it? Why would you go on the thing? Because he has a nitiyah towards that. He smells the cheese, he works based on instinct, and he goes into the trap. That's what we do. We do the same exact thing. We have a nitiyah towards anger, we have a nitiyah towards whatever the nitiyah is, the tendency, feeling bad for ourselves, feeling alone, feeling like we're not successful with jobs, with people, with money, in relationships. So we have a nitiyah to feel those things, and then whenever those things show up, whenever I have an opportunity, whenever I get ticked off, whenever I'm triggered, I'm right back on the mousetrap. I'm going to respond the same way I've been for the past 35 years, 30 years. Same way, always. And we understand today, after being in these classes for 10 hours now, we understand today that open wounds, when you brush against an open wound, it hurts. It hurts. So of course I'm going to be back in the trap, because he just brushed against my open wound with his word, with his criticism, with his disrespect, with his cheating or stealing or whatever it was. He just rubbed against my open wound. So of course I'm going to retaliate the way I always retaliate, because I have a tendency towards that. And today we're going to walk out of this room, God willing, with so much newfound knowledge and information that you're just going to wait to use it. You're going to wait to put it into play. Okay? So, okay. All right, so we're talking about all these tendencies that we have. Where do they come from? Where does the desire for drugs and all the things that we said before come from? It comes from tiyurei nefesh and zichronot, memories, images in his mind with previous experiences that shaped his mind and nefesh, filled him with light, pleasure on whatever level, and are now the images coming back in the current experiences. Okay, so that's what's going on in the behind the scenes. We're on page 2. What I just said, imagine this. Okay? It's pretty likely for people to get addicted to, let's say, the club life. They've been doing it since they're 17, 16, whatever, and then when they're 30, they're still doing it, and 35, and they're still doing it, right? Not because they love it so much or because they enjoy it so much, but because they're used to it. It's something that is already ingrained. They know that setting, they live that setting, they breathe that setting, they know that setting. What happens to people, let's say, for example, when they're in that position, when they're in that setting, is that they'll go back, they'll have a good time. So they'll drink, they'll smoke, they'll dance, they'll laugh, they'll have a good time in the moment. A good time in the moment is light, filling up the vessels, there's pleasure, right? And then they'll leave. And most likely, most of the women that I speak to, I don't know, I haven't spoken to men about this, but most of the women that I speak to don't feel good the next day. Emotionally, I'm saying. And if you haven't noticed, start taking note. Don't feel good the next day. Now, what's going on really behind the scenes spiritually? What's going on really behind the scenes spiritually is that whenever I put myself in a position, in a situation, to take only for the sake of pleasure, my own pleasure. Meaning, I am here just to experience pleasure for myself without a higher purpose. That's why when you're eating, you should say, I'm eating right now, not just because it tastes good and I really want to shove it in my mouth. Not because of that. Not just because of that. I'm also eating to give me energy, to keep my body healthy. I'm eating to make me so I don't get angry and ticked off at people, so I'm a nicer person to be around. So that's already a higher, you're already coming to the experience, not just like, I'm hungry, gimme, gimme, gimme. You're already coming from it from a more altruistic place. The more I can channel what I am doing right now, it doesn't mean that a bar is a bad place to go or a club is a bad place to go. But if you're there, see if you can look for opportunities to be the giver. And it doesn't mean that you can't have fun and you can't drink and you can't do all the things that you're used to doing. But add to that list. Start adding to the list. Let me see someone that's standing on the side and looks whatever. Let me go over to her and say, hey, how are you? Are you okay? Even in all of my drunkenness, even in all of my whatever, wherever I'm at. I'm seeing the world around me and trying to fill in the gaps wherever I can. Not like take on a crazy project on myself and like do things that are too much for me. But wherever I can, be of service. Be of service. Because if I'm only doing it for myself and for my own pleasure, I will end up breaking kalim. I will end up breaking vessels. And when I break vessels, then all the nasty feelings come up for me. Then I don't know why I'm anxious, and I don't know why I'm sad, and I don't know why I feel this way, and I don't know why I'm angry, and I don't know why I want to run away from life and from everyone that I know. I don't know why I'm feeling this way. Okay. Page 2. Child grows up in a home with a sick parent. I actually have 2 friends that this happened to. That's where this example was born. Child grows up in a home with a sick parent, watches as their parent slowly dies of the illness. The chances of they themselves getting sick around the same age as the parent did are much higher than a child who has never witnessed such a thing. Okay? And we understand that now. Based on past experiences, that's what they're kind of like their subconscious mind is reinventing for their future. This is an example of a tziyur nefesh. Our subconscious takes pictures of everything and stores it. Our reactions, thoughts, speech, and behaviors are fully based on these pictures and memories. Ein Habdolach is here to change the negative, destructive images and replace with a cleared out nefesh. Again, so tonight we are learning techniques, 2 techniques. Do these techniques, apply these techniques, live by these techniques, breathe them, sleep them, mantra them. I don't care what you do. Do them. Talk to me in a week. Talk to me in a week. I've put a lot of people up to this challenge, and not one person has come back and said, nothing happened. Not one person. Every single person that has done this said, how is it so simple? How is it so simple, and how do I feel so good all of a sudden? What? How? Go back to Breakthrough 2 and you'll learn how. So, here we go. Ein Habdolach. Where is the problem? Where are these memories? Where are the memories stored? When vessels break, they fall into the klipot. Klipot are spiritual here. This is like really, really, really important that you get this, because if you don't get the foundation of the techniques, then they'll last for a day and then you're going to forget about them. Okay? And then it's a shame because you paid money and you came out here and you had chips and all that. So yeah, so this is really, really important. So put your thinking caps on. And yeah, you can eat, by the way. It's okay. Where is the problem? Okay, here. When vessels break, they fall to the klipot. Klipot are spiritual entities born from our mistaking and fueled by our continued mistaking. Taking for personal pleasure alone. Watch me. All right. Okay, here we go. We can see that's the board, yeah. Okay, here we go. So now we have. Very simple. Super simple. Okay, get this. You have the memory. Okay? Again, you're not necessarily remembering it, you just have it somewhere in your mind. Okay? You have the memory, aka the picture. Okay, the image. Okay, the memory, if it's not healed, it will come back, okay, in another situation, okay, if it's not healed. So, mother, narcissistic, abusive mom, guess what your wife is going to be like? Very, very likely that you are going to pull into, without even knowing, Didn't know. I didn't know. What? She doesn't look like my mother, she doesn't act like my mother, she doesn't anything. All of a sudden I'm experiencing the same. She makes me feel small, she doesn't respect me, she doesn't see me, she doesn't... All things that you came from your home with. Same stuff. Okay? Now, all of this stuff that we're learning here is about 3,300 years old. Okay? It's from ancient texts in Kabbalah that were written thousands of years ago, and today the world has become extremely aware and knowledgeable of this whole concept called mindfulness. And today if you go on YouTube and you Google this, right, or whatever, you YouTube this, then you'll get a million videos on it. Maybe not a million, but you'll get a bunch of information on this idea, because today there's science and there's technology and they can prove it. It's very clear. Now they have scans of the brain and they see it's very obvious how the synapses work, and it's all there. But we have this from day one. Okay, this is the equation. So you have a memory. This memory, if it doesn't get healed, it turns into a wound. Okay? It turns into a wound on the nefesh, an open drawer. Okay, now when we have, so we are, wait 1 second, let me just see where we are over here. Okay. So now what we're going to do is that we're going to try to get away from these wounds. We don't want to feel bad. We always want to feel good. Human instinct is for survival, and not just for survival, to feel pleasure. That's what we came into this world to do, to feel pleasure. We always want to feel good. We're going to avoid feeling bad. That's where we might shoot ourselves in the foot and let's say no to this person, say no to that date, say no to this job, say no to that thing, because that's going to put us in an uncomfortable position where we don't like the way we feel in that position, because we're not sure of ourselves, because we're not certain, because we've never did this before, because whatever the reason is. Okay, so we avoid it, because where does that avoidingness comes from? It comes from not wanting to get hurt. It comes from not wanting to feel pain. I don't want to feel pain, so I'm not going to put myself in a new situation where I'm awkward, where it's weird, where I don't know what I'm doing exactly, where people might laugh at me or make me feel bad, so I'm going to avoid the whole thing altogether. And then we don't walk out of our comfort zones, because I don't want to feel pain, because we want to feel pleasure. So I'll stay in the comfort zone, because here I feel somewhat pleasure, a little bit of the pleasure in my cigarette, in my joint, in my glass, in my friend, in my boyfriend, and whatever. I feel a little pleasure in this thing, okay? But at least I know I'm not going to take a leap of faith outside of this thing that I already know that's familiar to me, and then get slapped in the face. I don't want to feel pain. So we avoid pain, because we have wounds. Okay, we have nefesh wounds, we have different things in our nefesh that are hurting, so we want to not feel them. And that's why a lot of people don't want to feel their feelings. People don't want to feel their emotions, people don't want to go there, people don't want to meditate, people don't want to feel what they're feeling. People just want to put a band-aid on it, whatever makes it numb and not feel, let me just get on with my life, because this is ridiculous. Okay? So then, what we do is that we look for light. We look for light, we look for pleasure. We look for pleasure in anything we can find it. So people go to food, which turns into an addiction, and people go to drugs, and people go to people, and people go to all different things to make them feel good. We look for the light, the pleasure. So now, the fourth thing that happens is we experience a light. We eat it, we sniff it, we drink it, we kiss it, whatever it is. We experience the feeling of pleasure, of joy, of good, not joy, pleasure. Then that experience goes into our vessel. Okay? Now we're going to finish this equation. Tonight we're going to finish this equation. It goes into our vessel. Our vessels are our ability to be able to experience good things in our life. Okay? The way it works is like this. You're in a room and the light is on. The closer you are to the light bulb, the more light you're going to have. The further you are from the light, the less light you're going to have. Yes? Were you with me? Okay. Does the light ever change? Is the light on? What determines how much light you're going to have? Your proximity to it, exactly. How close you are to the light, right? But the light never goes anywhere. The light doesn't change. The light is constant. The light is stable. The light is always on. And that is exactly what Kabbalah is teaching us so many years ago, that the light is Hashem. Hashem means the Shefa. It means the goodness. The roof over your head, that's light. The health in your body, that's light. That's Shefa. That's blessing. That's goodness. The money in your pocket, that's blessing. That's goodness. That's you receiving the light. It's called the Or Ein Sof. It's endless light, and that's what God put us in this world to be able to absorb. Pleasure. To experience goodness. To experience goodness. So now, Why am I not experiencing goodness? And okay, so I have money in my pocket and I have a roof over my head and I have food in my tummy and I have health in my body, but I don't have all those other things that will make my life so much more functional and I'll be such a happier person and I'll be able to help the world even better. I don't have all those other things. The reason that you don't have all those other things is not because it's not shining down on you. It's not because your husband or your wife is not right here. It's not because you don't deserve it either. It's only because you don't have the vessel to hold the light. You don't have the vessel to hold the light. The light is always being mashpia. The light is always, Hashem is always giving the world non-stop. There's no time in essence. There's no such thing as time. Time only exists in our life for us to be able to make some kind of understanding of what's going on here. But in essence, there's no such thing as time. God gauges all of humanity from the beginning of time to the end of time, whatever that means, happening at the same time. It's happening right now. It's happening right now. Leaving Egypt and sitting in ITV is happening right now. It's all happening at the same time. There's really, really no such thing as time. It's just for us to understand how to get through the days, to live our lives. But really, 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 in essence, there's no such thing as time. It's all happening at the same time. So he's constantly being mashpia, this light, these blessings. All I have to do is come with my vessels and collect the light. I just have to come and get light. I have to come and get what I want. And the reason that I can't come and get what I want is because my vessels are broken, or I don't have the vessel. So what do I have to do? I have to create vessels. It's very simple. How do I create vessels? You're telling me that if I'm going to create a vessel, that I'm going to get more good in my life? That I'm going to get closer to what I want? Yes. And you can roll your eyes all you want. But if you haven't tried it, what's the word? What's that thing? If you haven't.
Don't knock it till you try.
Don't knock it till you try it. Okay, so these vessels. Okay? So the light goes into the vessel. Two things happen with the vessels. Okay? Watch this. Okay. The vessel is thirsty for light. That's why it's there in the first place, to be filled. So that's a good thing that it's getting filled. But because it's getting filled with light that's just temporary, light that's just for me to enjoy, just for my own self-gratification, then the light goes in, I experience the pizza, and it's out, it's over. I don't feel the pleasure from the pizza anymore once it's in my stomach. I don't feel the pleasure from that party anymore once it's over. The light goes in, I experience the pleasure, and then it's over. We did this a few times. Now, so that the vessel, because the vessel was filled with the light, and we did this, I think we did this the first class, okay? Where basically the whole energy of the light is an energy of netina. That's the energy of the light. It's an energy of ashpa'ah. That's the energy of God. God is a full-time, non-stop, around-the-clock creator, giver of life, helper of mankind, creator, constant. Right? That's where the light is coming from. That's where the blessings are coming from. Now, when my vessel is aligned with that kind of energy, meaning if the vessel that I have in my nefesh, that I am also going to be like that light. The light's energy is to be a giver. I'm also going to be a giver in this situation. Then the light and the vessel connect, and then you have blessing. And you have blessing. You all have vessels. We all have vessels. We all have many vessels. You gave a shekel to tzedakah. You have a vessel. You stepped out of your comfort zone for somebody else. You went to pick up someone in the middle of the night from the airport. You cleaned your niece's tushy. Okay? You were always doing these things constantly. So we're always being likened to the light. We're also giving. We're also creating. We're also helping. We're also fulfilling. We're also being of service. So when I am like that, which I am the vessel, and the light that gives me the blessings, that's the energy of the light to give, to build, to help. Then I connect with the vessel vessel connects with the light, and then I become more me. More of my potential comes out. I feel better. I feel lighter on my feet. I feel more energy. I feel happier. I want to make other people happier all of a sudden. I care. When you're down in the dumps, you don't care about anybody. The whole world could go up in flames, and you're like, God, bye, see ya. Wish you all well. Man, right? When you're not feeling good. You don't care about anything. When you feel good, all of a sudden you connect to your higher self. You have this you care about people, you see people, you notice, you'll pay for this guy's meal, you'll be a listening ear for a friend that's going through a hard time. That's when you're living from your higher self. We are always constantly 24/7, and you can be you can be anywhere on the spectrum in a given day. where you can be at a higher self or at a lower self action. Coming from a higher self or lower self. We have both those selves there. So we have this vessel, so it gets filled with a light that's about taking, the vessel gets full, and then the light leaves, and then the vessel breaks. It breaks, and it falls into the... Who said that?
Teapot.
Teapot. Teapot, in our words, in our terminology, teapot are the way we feel the teapot. This is all going on internally, yeah, in our internal world, in this place inside that we're usually pretty not aware of. Okay? Hang on, I'm just going to finish the sentence and I'll answer you. The teapot are the bad stuff that surfaces, the bad emotional experiences. That is the klipa. Okay? That is the klipa. In other words, taking from this world and not with having no interest in doing for something, in raising this experience, right? Then what happens is that the kli falls into the klipot. Once the klipot has the kli, then I start feeling like I want more of that thing. That's where addictions start. I might start feeling the klipot, almost like imagine like these dark energies, these dark forces in the nefesh that want more of what created them. They want more of what created them. So for example, let's say for the first time in your life you're smoking heroin, God forbid. Okay? Let's just take a crazy example. Okay? The first time in your life ever doing that. I heard that the high that people have after that first time using heroin is like there's nothing like it in the world. It's like I've heard from a few people that have told me that it's like this insane experience. Amazing. And then what happens to them is that they can never reach that same high as the first high. But what happens? How do they get addicted?
You do more and more.
Chasing it. That's the feeling, exactly. The feeling of the chasing, the needing to have that. What is that really in a spiritual understanding of ourselves? What does that mean for me? It's the klipot wanting more of what created them. So you come to this table, you do your thing of heroin, your drug or whatever it is. The kli gets full of light, and you're only doing it because you want to feel good, right? Obviously, you're not doing it to help the world, right? So you're doing it to feel good. You get full of light, and as full as the light is, meaning there's a difference between heroin and pizza, yeah, in terms of light, okay? So the heroin is filling you up, and then it shatters the vessel. What happens is that this vessel shatters and falls into these dark entities. They're dark entities, dark spiritual entities. And these entities are now born. These klipot are now born. And what's the voice, what's the language of these klipot? More. Give me more of what created me. Give me more of what made me. And then all of a sudden I turn around and I'm like having this love-hate relationship with something I don't like. The sugar that I'm addicted to, or the bad person that I'm addicted to, and the bad relationship, or whatever it is, and I keep feeling drawn back. I'm drawn, but I don't want it. I don't want him. I don't want him. No. I keep getting drawn back into that. Why? Because the klipot have a voice. Okay, well, tonight we're going to learn how to get rid of the klipot. Okay, so that's this. So that's what's going on here. Breaking the klipot. And the klipot, the energy that they exude is the energy of sadness and brokenness and anger and anxiety and all that. They come out as feelings. They come out as emotions. If you all want to see this from inside the text, I could show it to you from inside the text. It's pretty hard to understand inside. This is like diluted big time. But this is all the secrets of the Torah. Okay, so let's continue. Let's continue. We're going to leave that there. Okay, so this is the vessel taking just for the sake of pleasure. This is the vessel taking and with an altruistic edge. Okay, so then the vessel connects with the light, and all of a sudden you feel an uplifting. You feel a shift. You feel a better energy. You have a better air about you, and all of a sudden, you get accepted at a job, and all of a sudden, you have a nice conversation with someone where you're not feeling insecure, and you're not feeling what you're usually feeling, and all of a sudden you feel fine. You feel good. And it was a nice conversation, and you walk away, and it's all good, and you're not like, what did I say, how did I say that, da-da-da-da-da. You're not dealing with the issues, because the issues are the klipot. Okay, so that's with the vessel. So let's continue. Okay, we have about a half hour left. Okay, we're gonna, God willing, be done at 11.
Ask a question.
Yes, sorry.
The light, it's okay. The light you're referring to here, I'm presuming it's not a good light.
It's all light. It's all pleasure. The light is always
It's not
good. The light is always
But
good.
as you're saying, you're getting light from doing things that essentially are creating these Teapot.
The only reason the light is not staying in the vessel and then making you feel better and helping you shift your energy and all of that good stuff and healing you in essence, the light, when it fits with the vessel, it heals you. That's where the healing comes from.
Because you said people, that light, they're wounded and then they're getting light from drugs and
Yes. Wherever
So
there's
that-
pleasure, it's light. Pleasure equals light.
So I'm saying it's not necessarily, just want to say it's not necessarily a good thing. Then. The
What were you
light-
saying?
The light is not necessarily a good thing.
The light
This
is...
is the good light. I think what you're
No,
saying
no,
is pleasure.
If you're doing it for you or if you're doing it for someone else, it's going to be two different.
That determines the quality of the light. The light can't stay in an environment that's not like him. Understand? The light attracts light. It can't stay in an environment that's opposite in
Is this
its
follow
nature.
food? Is this the idea?
What?
They follow, I'm just not understanding. It's following food.
Is it following
You're saying
through?
they have a memory. Okay, then it creates this wound. Okay.
Right.
Then they try and heal the wound by bringing light in, but the light they're trying to get, I understood from you, is short pleasures like sex or drugs or whatever it
Anything.
is.
It could be anything. It could also be going to the hospital to visit children. Anything that gives you any pleasure is light. Whether the light's going to stay with you or break your vessels, that's up to your intention.
Okay.
Sorry if I didn't make that clear.
Okay, but it stays with
She
us.
has something to
Okay,
say. Yes.
it stays with us only, you know, like we cannot be like angels. Like, so if we do something wrong, then it will fall into Teapot. That means that like,
If
can
you
it
do
stay
something,
in the vessel? Like, can it stay really?
yes, that's exactly what healing is. We're like just learning the mechanisms of what it means to heal. Because it's very nice, everyone's talking about healing and healing and healing. We're talking about legit what happens. How do you heal? You heal when you turn your intention from taking from the world. Who's going to give me? Who's going to love me? Who's going to make me feel good? Who's going to see me? Who's going to listen to me? Who's going to be there for me? When you take all of the me-ness of your life and add some level of giving in that scenario, in that position, in that place. You walk into your mother's house, you're in a fight with her, you don't, whatever, you're upset, she hurt you, whatever it is. And you go and you do something, even if you're not going to talk to her yet, because you're not there emotionally yet. But you go to do something kind for her, despite the fact that you're in a fight with her, which is not so natural, okay? What happens to you is that you turn your vessel from take kocha mekabel atzmo. We always want to take for ourselves into you form it into a vessel of give. I'm going to use this situation that I'm in that's so, and I'm going to give here. In whatever slight, tiny way, but just make sure to give. And that's exactly what we were talking about earlier with the whole giving thing to ourselves. You give to yourself by putting up a masach. You give to yourself by putting up a screen when you say to yourself, you know what, I'm going to eat that in an hour, or I'm going to go there in an hour, or I'm going to go to the gym now instead of saying I'm going to go in 4 hours or next week or whatever it is. Right? You're giving to because you're being a giver to yourself, to your inner child. You're listening to your feelings instead of saying, oh, my feelings are so dumb. You're listening to them. You're giving them space. That's giving. That's being a person of giving. Then your vessels go from taking, which is the natural human instinct, to giving, to a giving vessel. And once the vessel is the giving vessel, once you are in a space of giving, even if you just bless people, have a good day. I hope everything works out for you. You should have so much light and goodness and health in your life. Just give, even if it's just with your words, whatever small way. Then you turn yourself, your energy, your vibe from who's going to love me? Am I going to always be alone? With the focus being completely on you to, okay, I know my life is not 100% worked out yet, and guess what? It's not going to be 100% worked out till I get to the grave. There are going to be issues that I'm going to go to the grave with, okay? There are going to be issues that I have not solved till the last day of my life, because that's life. That's how it is. That's how it's set up. You can't beat it. Just have to enjoy it and ride it to the best of our ability.
I don't know if that's I don't know if that lasts very long. Like, you can be giving and loving to the world and great, but if you have wounds, it doesn't necessarily heal those wounds. You know,
So it does. So it does. Let's keep going. You'll see what I'm saying. You'll see what I'm saying on the third page. Yes.
I wanted to ask, you said something about leaving Egypt and being here at the same time. Is it like different dimensions all at the same time? And I didn't know if I understood. I was just really curious about it.
Meaning everything is happening from the beginning of time to the end of time, right? It's always happening.
Okay.
It's always happening.
Okay.
That's why when you get
the
to
same
certain
things, not different dimensions.
Exactly.
In the same time.
Exactly. There's it's a really philosophical, esoteric conversation we're gonna leave out of this class, but let's continue. Okay. So what's a mistake?
Mistake?
Here. What do you see in this word? What do you see in this word? Get creative.
Mistake.
What?
Mistake.
What?
Mistake.
No.
Mistake.
Take. Okay.
What was the question?
What do you see in this word?
Me.
No. Me is M-E.
Yeah. Oh, we're getting creative.
My steak, what?
No.
Missed.
Come on, guys. It's right here. It's right here.
Me?
No. Me is with an E.
Eight.
What?
Eight.
No.
Take. Miss. Take. Don't take.
Nice. It's not don't take though, but it is what you just said. It is. It's this. Mistake. Okay. When do we make a mistake? When do we injure ourselves emotionally, mentally, spiritually? We injure ourselves when we have a mistake. When we take in the wrong way. You can take. You're meant to take. You're meant to live. You're meant to enjoy. You're meant to have pleasure. You're meant to all of it. But it needs to be in a framework of giving. Meaning the soil that it's on needs to be a soil of giving. Your mind needs to turn from me to me with a little bit of who can I help out today? Let me think of one or two people today that I know are going through a hard time, or maybe they're moving and I can go unpack a box with them, or maybe they just need someone to say, hey, how are you? I know you're not feeling well. How's your stomach? Because otherwise we get totally wrapped up in self, and then we wonder why we're alone. And then we wonder why no one cares about us when we're sick. That's where all of our problems come from. All of our problems come from an obsession with self and a lack of seeing other people, a lack of seeing other people's wants. There's something that I learned a long time ago, and I don't know the source for this, but I thought about it today, and I told God this today also. And basically, I don't want to deal with my issues. You deal with my issues. I'm going to go help other people with their issues. And then I thought of 5 people that I know that are like in things, and I texted them, hey, did you end up selling your wig that you're trying to get rid of? Hey, let me see who I can help her connect with. This person was wondering, she wants to get to Israel and she doesn't know where to go visit. I didn't answer her. She texted me like 2 months ago, right? Because I was in my own thing. And today I searched for her. Where is she? Hey, did you come to Israel yet? You have to try out this and this restaurant. Should I send you the address? Can't pay it. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. And I can't tell you, even just in like those 5 messages, I felt a difference. I felt a big difference. I felt like imagine bottom of the pit, just a little bit higher than the bottom of the pit. I had a hard day. It's okay. I feel better now that I'm here doing this with you. But that's the equation. Okay. I'm not done with you. We're not done. Okay? We're getting to the Ein Habdolach, heart of the matter, in about 2 minutes. Okay. Okay, what are the klipot? Klipot A, spiritual energy created by man's mistaking. Okay? taking for himself with no higher intention, or giving just for fun or just out of habit. Anything that we do just for fun and just out of habit, try to somehow add in something there. That's why as Jews, we make a blessing on our food and on our drink, because this can be a very physical experience, because I'm thirsty, so I'm going to drink. Before I do that, I'm going to become aware and cognizant of who is giving me this water right now, who is putting the food on my plate right now, where is this coming from? Let me look at who it's coming from, who's blessing me with this and thing, and say, hey, I know you too, thank you. There's a very, very big difference between just drinking it, and before you drink it or before you eat it, to take a moment to say, I recognize that you are the source of all goodness. I recognize that you're giving me all the blessing in my life. I recognize that you put this water in my cup. Thank you. Because I fast for one day and I feel like I'm like the weakest person in the world and I have no energy. Like, what are we even, human beings? When we're all fed and we're living in a nice house and we have all our needs taken care of, then we're like, I'm better than everybody else and I got my stuff together and look at me. We're like, fast for a day, fast for 2 days, stop drinking coffee. See how you are without your addictions? You're down on your knees, like, someone help me, right? Because we're really not these all-powerful beings. We're very, very dependent beings, extremely dependent. And when we recognize who we're dependent on, then that is a form of giving. That is a form of giving. Okay, so here we go. Let's just continue. Okay, we are up to the fourth to the last paragraph from the bottom. Okay, next part of the thing is these klipot, which aka means our negative emotions, all the anxiety and sadness and all that other stuff that we were feeling, that we were talking about before. These klipot can get erased, we can relieve ourselves of these feelings, of these dark energies. And how do we do that? The first thing you do with a klipa is you starve it. You starve it. Meaning, the reason that it's there in the first place is because the vessel is broke and they fell into the klipot. It will always call out for the thing that broke the vessel. Okay, the pleasure that broke the vessel, that now I have an addiction towards, now I have a wanting towards, now I'm pulled towards, okay, that experience, that person, that whatever. Now I'm going to have more of a want for that thing. I'm going to have more of a want for that thing. Stop eating sugar for a month or 2 weeks and go back to eating sugar. You'll be like, how did I ever eat this? How did I ever eat this? Because once you starve it, once you starve the klipa, so what happens? In the beginning, they're very loud. Okay, let's say you stop smoking. Okay, you try to stop smoking at least. Okay, so the first day, it's like they're screaming, I have cravings. You're like detoxing, you're like sweating, you're angry, you're like, right? The second day, still pretty bad. The third day, it's the worst. And after the third day, it gets much, much easier. Why? Because they start to die out. It gets much, much, much less noisy in there. They're not yelling as much. They're not screaming as much for their fix. You're starving them. So that's the first thing that we do for our klipot. We starve. We starve them of the thing that created them. So if you're hooked on sugar or hooked on a person or something that's not good for you that you want to kick it, you got to starve it. You're going to starve it. So I want to tell you one story here that my Rav said. I think I said it to you, maybe I didn't. I don't know. But basically, there was this girl that was a student that was smoking. It was a big smoker. She was a smoker for many, many years. And she always tried to stop. She always tried to quit smoking. Was always trying to quit smoking, and it was always going back to it. She was never able to do it. And then one day, I think I told you this. I remember exactly where I was sitting when I said it also. One day, she was sitting on a porch about to light her cigarette, and all of a sudden this guy was walking underneath her porch by her window, and she smelled his cigarette in the morning, and something happened to her, and she was just like, I can't, disgusting, I can't. And she went back to her Rav, to my Rav, and she said to him, Rav Yuval, so a miracle happened to me. A miracle happened to me. I stopped smoking. It's the strangest thing. It's been 3 weeks. I have no cravings. What is going on? So basically what he told her, he said, a miracle never happened to you. A miracle that didn't happen to you. You're following the equation. You're just doing it. Basically what happened is that every single time she tried to quit smoking, she created more of a masach. She created more of a separation between her and the addiction. Every time you push it off, even by a minute, even by an hour, even by a day, even by whatever, to have it right now. It's that need, that urge that I want it now. that is the klipos that are wanting it more.
Your vessel's overflowing.
My vessel is overflowing, or I'm just splashing. So so she stopped it. All those times she tried to quit smoking, she put a boundary. And then one day it just left her because she weakened them and weakened them and weakened them and weakened them. So it doesn't have to be cold turkey, but we do have to try to push off the urge, the craving. Push it off another few minutes. Push it off another hour. Tell yourself, I'm doing it in an hour, in 10 minutes. It's just the creating that what's the word I'm looking for? What? No, it's the bumper. It's creating that separation. Okay? Okay, now we have to get to the meat and potatoes of this thing. Okay. Here we go. So I'm gonna skip. You can read the rest of this. Yeah, we just said that. Okay. Oh, okay, here we go. This is what I've been waiting for. 6 weeks I've been waiting for this. Okay. Where are we going to start? And this is going to answer your question, Carly. Okay? This is going to be much more of a clear answer for you. Okay. So we have this law that we just said before, Gavoa mal gavoa shomer, that higher energy always rules the lower energy. Okay? Now we have 3. Okay, right here. Look over here. Look over here. Okay? This is soul. Okay? Soul is your life force. Now your life force is broken down into different categories. Okay? You have this life force inside of you that's making me talk and walk and make me different from you and the next guy, right? I have a specific life source and Esther has a life source and everyone has their own kind of life source. No one has the same one. Source, soul. Now, the soul is split up into 5 categories, okay? We're not going to talk about the top 2. We're going to talk more about the bottom 3. So the part here is nefesh, ruach, neshama. Here is chaya, and here's yechida. I'm not getting into these things here. Okay, we're talking about these things here. Now, we live here all the time. Okay? We live in a very physical, very nefesh. That's where we live from. Okay? Now, the ruach is a higher level of our soul. So that means that the more I evolve and the more I'm able to reach my potential, all of a sudden I get to another level of clarity, of seeing, of vision, of relating. I'm much more in touch with the life around me. Imagine gross motor skills and fine motor skills. Just see that. Okay? Gross motor skills is how most people live their life. He wronged me, I'm gonna get him back. He stole me, I'm gonna steal from him. That's how most of us. I'm hungry, I eat, I'm tired, I sleep. That's how most of us live, based on instinct and based on what we're used to. The more we refine those gross motor skills, the more we climb the ladder of ourselves, of our potential, and then we become more spiritual beings. More spiritual beings is that we see things that people usually don't see. We are able to control our emotions and not have our emotions control us. We're able to pray and meditate and not feel like we want to jump out of our skins and end it now and get a drink the second, right? That's all coming from the klipot. We can change ourselves in whatever direction we want to change ourselves. We can become so spiritual and so connected and so fine-tuned and so these very materialistic people in this world. All we have to do is put up a sachim, all we have to do is fix the kelim, all we have to do is be careful from the klipot, the emotions, not feed into them, and stop and starve them. And starve them as much as we can, in whatever increments we can do that. Okay, so we have these 3 levels of the soul, this life force. So let's look inside for a second. Neshama is responsible for machshava. Machshava are thoughts. Your thoughts come from your level of neshama. Ruach is your dibur, is responsible for your dibur, is responsible for your speech. That's where our speech comes from. It comes from the level of ruach in our neshama, okay? And nefesh is ma'asim, is actions. We act from our nefesh. The nefesh is responsible for our actions. Okay, we need the neshama and the ruach to fix the nefesh. A person is capable of seeing everyone's blemishes aside from his own. For real, not low self-esteem. In other words, it's very easy for us to see what other people have to work on, but when it comes to ourselves, we're pretty lost in what's going on with ourselves. Okay, we know that we have a temper, we know that we're maybe a little cheap, we know these basic things about ourselves, but to really, really, really get to know ourselves is very, very hard to see. It's very, very hard for us to see our true internal living room. So this is what happens. When we experience something we don't like, see something in someone that irks us, etc., it's 1000% a direct look at our open drawers. It's an incredible opportunity to eradicate that from within us forever. Okay, now we are getting into Ein Habdolach. These are the steps of Ein Habdolach. I feel like we're all walking out of here tonight with like a care package. Like, you ready? You ready for this mission? You ready to get dirty? You ready to change your life? You ready to feel yourself? You ready to feel on top of your life? You ready to feel happy when you wake up in the morning, not needing any stimulant in order to create that feeling inside of you, or person, or whatever, in order to make you feel good, really yourself, really alive? These are the steps. Here we go, friends. You are about to learn the secret medicine for all of your ailments. All right. Follow me here. Outside stimulus, memories, emotional reaction, klipos. Okay? There's an outside stimulus. Someone just cut you off. Your landlord is terrible. You're whatever. You walk down the street and whatever. Someone just, whatever. It happened to me. It always happens to me in Tel Aviv. It's the strangest thing. I walk down the street here and people crash into me. Is that normal?
No.
It's very it's normal.
Like with their what's it called? With their birds.
Yeah.
They just like walk into. I'm like, oh, gee, I'm not a ghost. I'm like right here. I'm pretty easy to see. Like, right? Remember that night? I have it so often. I have it here in Tel Aviv. Don't you see me? So why doesn't he see
They're
me?
like rushing around.
What?
They're rushing around.
They're rushing around. That's so nice of you. So something like that happens, okay? It will elicit a response from you if you have a wound in that area. Okay? If you have a wound in the nefesh in that area, it will elicit a response. The response is usually going to be a very strong response. Okay? Cursing, anger, whatever. You're going to have a response to that stimulus. Now, the emotional reaction is the klipot. Okay? The outside stimulus, whoever wronged you, whoever made you feel bad, whoever, whatever, your neighbor, the music, whatever it was, that was your memories. That's coming. It's only rubbing against you wrong. You only hate them and can't stand them because you have a memory in that area, because you have a wound in that area. And the Rambam teaches that the Arizal teaches that if you see something ugly in another person, but what it elicits from within you, what it brings up from within you is compassion, it means you don't have that inside of your nefesh. You could see something ugly in another person. You could see a temper, and you could see anger, and you can see all these things being super cheap and wanting everyone to pay for them, and all these. You could see that in another person. But if it brings up inside of you compassion, like feel bad for that guy, he had it hard, or whatever it is, you don't have it. It's not in you. But if it brings up within you that, honey, welcome. Welcome to your nefesh. And it's a beautiful gift. Because everyone is strategically set up in my life exactly when I meet them, when they bump into me, when they hurt me, when they love me, when all that. My whole stage is set up with all these props and all these people and all these experiences and all these things along my journey, just as a loving gesture from God to show you how to take a clearer look, take a deeper look into what's really holding you back. It's the wounds that are holding us back. It's the klipos that are holding us back. The light's there. You want it? Go. Fill your cup. Just get it. What do you want? You want to be rich? What do you want? You want to be married? You want to be happily married? You want to be skinny? You want to be healthy? What do you want? It's not hard for you to get it. All you have to understand is that you need your vessel to get the light. That's it. Okay? So here's the equation right here. It's very clear. Rule of thumb, what you think you see and understand is coming in through filters that have been skewed and bent over time that are now sending you messages based on their vantage point. Could be most likely very far from the things that really are. The reason that you're gauging in that way is because of your memories. It's not necessarily objectively bad. He's not necessarily objectively a jerk. He's not necessarily objectively abusive. Unless he's hitting you or she's hitting you, and then that's clear. It's all how we gauge it. You have the same person. You have two people standing in front of the same person. One person says, this tzedakah guy, he's a fake. He's a con artist. I'm telling you, he's a con artist. And you have another guy that's like, God looks like such a nice guy. He has such a hard time, such a hard life. Let me give him a shekel. Who's right? Who cares? Doesn't matter. What's important in this equation is that why are you looking at it from a dark filter and you looking at it from a light filter? It's because you have guk, you have schmutz inside the nefesh that you need to take out. That's why all these negative things are happening to you. That's why all these negative experiences. So he wronged you and he wronged you and he wronged you and he... How's everybody wronging you? How is everyone not to be trusted? How is everyone mean? How is everyone not loving and compassionate? How is everyone abandoning you? How is it that everyone's doing it to you and it's happening to you and you're the victim of all of it? It's the filter that you're seeing, that you're gauging, that you're experiencing is guk. It's full of grease. It's full of grime. Let's clean it out. And then the guy that's sitting next to you, the positive guy that loves life and loves the sun, it's such a beautiful day, and everything's going to be great, and everyone's wonderful, and gives to this one, and gives to that one, and goes to visit here, and goes to visit there.
I hate those people.
I hate those. We only hate them because we have Teapot. You understand that, right? Our Teapot are dark. Our Teapot are dark.
Really does irritate.
The manager at Aroma is like that, and I complimented him today for being so jolly.
Yeah?
I love your personality, because all the time I go in every week, he's like that. He's like, how are you? And he said, he answered, he's like, at least you like it, because a lot of people don't like it. They tell me that I'm too cheery for them. I'm like, really?
That's his cheerfulness rubbing against their wounds.
Yeah, I said, I love it.
That person should be aware, that happy person should be aware that he's actually aggravating a lot of people.
Listen, I'm gonna dim my light because it bothers you.
Should be considerate. They should be considerate.
Because there's a bunch of dark people.
You've been in England too long.
You don't have to be like annoying. You don't have to be like, let's go fishing. You don't have to do that. But you have to. But you want to feel good. No, you don't want to wake up in the morning and feel good. Yes, you want to feel good. You want to feel amazing. You want to feel alive. You want to feel happy. You want to go outside.
So are you saying that, like, if you meet people that treat you badly or are toxic or destructive or abusive, you use the word abusive, and you only see them as that because of your experiences? Like, you have these glasses on, the person next to you might see them as completely different.
Yes.
Although that person is that to you.
Right.
They might not be like that to that person.
Of course they're not like that to that person. You only get the reactions from people. You only get treated the way you treat yourself.
So you're encouraging people to treat you that way? Because
You're not encouraging anything. By the fact that you're breathing and sitting there, your energy is already asking for it. You're attracting the people that are abusive because that's what you're used to. That's what you're working off of. And when you're in that position and they're abusing you, you're actually taking it, or you're reacting, you're back into that same thing. And they would only do it to you. Or they would only do it to the other girl that they would feel it in. Abusers always attract victims. They don't attract the confident, well-rounded, excuse me, you can't talk to me that way. They're not going to attract that girl. They're going to attract the girl that's like, I'm so sorry, I didn't know, I didn't realize. That's who they're going to attract. Like attracts like.
Yeah, no.
Okay?
I know that, but I thought because you're saying someone who's got like light and happy glasses on, and another person who's had their own trauma or wounds, and they're sitting in front of a person that is clearly toxic and abusive, how is it possible that the one person will be seeing that person as a shining light when they're clearly toxic and abusive? How?
So listen, I don't think that anyone would see a person that's toxic and abusive and say, oh, they're a shining light. But they might say, maybe they're reacting this way because, meaning they won't have such a crazy reaction to them.
Yeah.
They'll be like, okay, he's a weirdo, like, whatever.
Okay.
They won't go into this, like, place.
Okay, but they're not seeing this person as this shining light. They're seeing them as how they are, and they just have a lot more compassion and empathy for them.
Either how they are or they don't know how they are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he could be coming from a hard day. He could be whatever. He could have just got bad news. Maybe
It's
he's
not
just...
affecting them.
Yeah, it's not like...
Affecting them in a different way.
Yeah, exactly. They're not... Yeah, exactly. Okay, guys, we have to do this. Shoot. Okay, here we go. Let's go.
Tell a bit, we're used to staying up till 1 a.m. It's fine, it's okay.
I know. Okay, here. Okay, example with husband coming home, house a mess, Okay, you walk into your house is a mess, your husband's sitting on the couch, your kids are not in pajamas, dirty diapers on the floor, dishes in the sink, you just came back from work, it's 11 o'clock at night, and the house is like trashed, and he's sitting there like on his phone. Where are the kids? They're not in bed. I don't know, they were just here. I don't know, look for them. Like, and then, so two things can happen. Either that's going to elicit because that's a stimulus right there. Okay, you walk in, you expect everything to be clean and everyone to be like tucked away, and you walk into like mess, right? So two things can happen. Either that's going to rub against the wound. What's the wound? He doesn't care about me. He doesn't see me. I worked all day and I come home to this. He doesn't take me into consideration. It's always about him. So, right? So it's going to rub up against that wound because that's what I'm going to translate it to mean. I'm not going to translate it to mean, listen, the dude had a really hard day. He maybe even got like a really fat ticket and he came home and he couldn't deal with these monsters. So he just like hung out with them and played with them and fed them whatever tacos and then like whatever. Now they're playing in the den. I'm going to take it to mean my wounds. Because that's where I'm going to take it to mean he doesn't see me, he doesn't value me, he doesn't respect me, he doesn't love me. That's what I'm going to take it to mean. That. Okay? So that's this outside stimulus. That's based on the memories and the emotional reaction. Okay? So I'm going to have an emotional reaction like that. Ein Habdolach steps. Okay? Now we're going to learn the steps to clearing out the lenses. The steps to clearing out the filters. The steps to reacting to a stimulus. Okay? We don't want to be the mouse in the trap. We don't want to do the same thing over and over again and expect different results and not get different results. Okay? We don't want someone to step on our toes and lash out every single time. We want a new response. Ein Habdolach. This is it, my friends. This is where it's all out. This is what we've been building towards for a month and a half. And you waiting for it? I think we should continue next time. Maybe we should have a bathroom break. Okay. So, here we go. The second I see, I'm really bummed out that you guys are not looking inside, but okay, whatever. The second I see, experience the hurt, frustration, the disrespect towards me, lack of affection, care, I immediately stop the usual emotions, the Teapot, from taking over, and I say, this is it. You have someone cuts you off, someone rips you off, someone is mean, someone is disrespectful, someone is, and there's all these someones and all these experiences in my life. Mother doesn't take me seriously. She always talks about herself. She never sees me. All these things, okay? There's a stimulus that's creating a reaction. The reaction is the Teapot. This is what you do in the moment. You don't step on the trap and go in the same thing that you've always done. What you do is stop and you say, number one. Before you say number one. You look at the person that's yelling at you, that's doing whatever it is, the stimulus. You look at the situation and you say, I know, I'm aware, cognitively. Right now, my emotions are completely taken over and I just want to kill this person. But I know that no one lands on the stage of my life by accident. Now, nothing happens to me just as a punishment. Just as like, you know what, let's get on her nerves today. Let's like poke and prod him today. Everything is coming to me as a mirror. It's coming to me as a mirror. Why? Because we said, I can't see my deficiencies. So this person is yelling at me right now. Is getting me very upset. Is yelling at me right now. What you see in front of you is an internal look into your nefesh, into your drawers. Into your drawers. The drawers that you want to close. You want to close those drawers. You want them closed. You'll feel so much better with them closed. You'll feel so much peace with them closed. So much closure with them closed. You'll be yourself and you'll connect to your future wife, your future husband much more. You're there. You're going to be vibrating on that same healthy emotional level. So this stimulus happens in the moment I say, I am looking at a snapshot of myself. I'll tell you something that happened to me, and this was like a very hard experience to be in this position. I moved to Israel a year ago, a little bit more than a year ago, and with 2 kids, and kind of like jumped in the water with very little money and on a wish kind of thing. Kind of like, okay, my rabbi said do it. I wanted to do it. I wasn't sure if I should do it. He said do it. I jumped in. I had no idea how I was going to manage here. I knew it's impossible, even as a married couple, to have kids here and do all the things they need. It's very hard. So I came, and I was pretty proud of myself because I got things done, and I found an apartment, and I bought a car, and I set us up, chashmal, mayim, arnona, school for the kids, clothes for the kids, all getting the lift from America, putting it all myself, basically, doing it all myself. And so I was pretty proud of myself. And my son, my older son, was having some emotional issues with the transition, with this whole thing. It was like really big for him. He doesn't do well with change. So I was looking for a long time for someone that can help him. And like a month. I was looking for like a month for someone that can help him. And it was really, really very difficult for me at the time to give any kind of thought to that. Because like he's managing, he's fine. Let me just get my life on track here. Okay? So one day I pulled the trigger and I said I'm going to go to this healer lady who I heard amazing things about. And I took him to her. And it was amazing. Oh my gosh, the child was like amazing for an entire week. He was happy, he was calm, he was good. She did like she spoke to him. She was able to like really connect with him, and she did all this energy healing, and she was amazing. We went back a second time. Now she's also super expensive, mega expensive. But I was like, this was like, mesirut nefesh. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna pay the money. I'm gonna drive an hour and a half to get to her house, to bring him, to wait outside for an hour. I'm gonna do this for my son. After the second session, she calls me in. And she starts, first of all, she tells me all the beautiful things about my child. He's this, he's that, he's amazing. I said, okay, so great. So what's wrong? And then she made me a list like that long of all the things I need to change about my parenting. And she was like, listen, like, I know it's easy to like let him watch. I'm like, I only let him watch TV like once a week on Friday for like an hour and a half to 2 hours. I'm very, very careful with like screen time and whatever. She's like, even that hour and a half, it's really damaging him. Okay. He really wants to work on his abs and on his muscles, and you're not signing him up to a chug. You need to sign him up to a class that's going to help him with that. It's an expression of himself, and that's what he needs. And then she goes on and on and on and on and on and on. And I know you're a single mom, so maybe you should also go speak to someone so then you can be a better mom.
You should also what?
Go speak to someone so I could be a better mom. I get that. I understand that. I'm okay. I get that. I'm all about that. But the way the whole thing was said to me was just, okay, first of all, the eyebrow that I just lifted, it went up on her also. and I started feeling, as she was talking more and more, first of all, I was so proud of myself that I'm like this like amazing mom. And I'm doing all this myself. And I'm such a this, I'm such a that. And as she's talking, I'm getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And all of my insecurities are coming up. All of my insecurities that I'm not a good enough mother. And then I'm screwing up my kids. And then I'm doing this. And I'm not doing enough of that. I'm not giving him enough healthy food. I'm not giving him enough junk food because I'm giving too much healthy food. And all these things are coming up for me. And I left her clinic. I walked into the car. My kids were in the back seat. I sat there on Facebook. I didn't even see what I was looking at. For 20 minutes, I couldn't move. I was paralyzed. I felt like she rubbed against all of my wounds. I can't even. And then I sat, and then I turned on the car, and then I drove, and I started crying. And I just felt like I felt 2 cents. And the feeling that came up for me the whole time was paralysis. I couldn't speak. I couldn't talk. My kids were like, "Where are you going? What are you doing? What are we eating? Where are you going?" I couldn't speak. I couldn't take a word out of my mouth. I felt completely paralyzed. And then I did an Habdolach. Because the whole time I was thinking in my head, like, I want to kill her. She's the worst healer. Why would I ever do that? How did I ever find her? What's wrong with me? And then I was like, wait. Let's go back to the truth. Let's go back to what's really happening. She's just a prop. She's just a prop in your life. God sent her to poke you. What's effective in the poking me? So I can see myself. So all of a sudden I said, OMG. How many times, what did I gauge from her? Wait, what am I feeling? I'm feeling small, I'm feeling insecure, I'm feeling like a bad mother, I'm feeling all these things. Okay, I recognize my emotions. What made me feel that? What made me feel that was her insensitivity to what she was saying. Everything that she was saying was right. It could be that if I did all those things, everything would be incredible. Could be. But the way she said it, and the way she took nothing that I have done till now into consideration. It was not good enough. I felt not enough. That's how I felt. I felt very, very small. I felt not enough. And in that moment I said, oh my goodness. I'm being shown that insensitivity towards somebody else's trying, even if they're not doing it 100%, because that's how I am. That's how I am when I'm trying to push someone to do better. Oh, So now I have like this amazing insight into myself of how many times did I make people feel bad? How many times in my effort to help them or their children or whomever to save the world did I trample on some people's faces? How many times was I insensitive? Because that's what I gauged from her. Are you okay? Yeah? Okay. We're just watching you choke. We're here for you. We're here. So that's point number one. Okay, point number one is it's coming to me as a mirror, and the first thing I need to do is say thank you, Hashem. Thank you. Thank you, Source. Thank you. Thank you to whomever. Thank you to whoever set the stage up for me right now. Thank you, God, for showing me a deeper look into myself. That's how I am. I'm insensitive. I'm insensitive to other people's processes. Oh, wow, I just got a real big insight. And the second thing I do is I say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for all those times that I hurt. I'm sorry for all those times that I made people feel bad. I'm sorry for all those times that I pushed people down. I'm sorry. And that is it. You do those things when the stimulus comes into your head, into your life. You do those two things. Number one, you recognize, first of all, what you're feeling. Number two, you see what about the other person was so hurtful to you. What did they do? What was so ugly about them? What was it? Okay, recognize that. Number three, say, I thank you. Thank you for showing me. Thank you for showing me how I am, my midos, my characteristics. And I'm so sorry for doing that. I'm so sorry for being that person. I'm so sorry for hurting someone else like that and making someone else feel paralysis and making someone else feel so small when they're trying so hard. I'm so sorry. That is Ein Habdolach. Nothing in your life is real. Everything is a setup. It's all props in your life. Everything that comes into your life. You do this work, you're clearing out your lenses. You clear out your lenses, you're fixing your vessels. You're fixing your vessels, the klipos go away. You don't have this constant urge to react, retaliate. All of a sudden you stop the urge to react, retaliate because there's no person that's cutting you off. There's no person that's ripping you off. There's no person that's hurting you. It's just a mirror. And when you take it as a mirror and you say, I see myself in them, I see when I do this, thank you for showing this to me and I'm so sorry, guess what happens?
They change.
Either they change or they disappear.
Okay.
Either the lesson is over and you won't ever have to deal with a narcissist again, or won't ever have to deal with an abusive person again, or won't ever have to deal with someone that has a bad temper again, or they change. But either way, you're healing. You're healing. En olam. It's all a facade. There's no world. You're the Truman Show. That's what it is. You're the star of the show. You are the one that the whole thing is centered around. Bishvili nivra olam. Every person is supposed to say to themselves, for me the world was created. Whose world? My world. And my world is only as big or only as small as my wounds. And I can heal the wounds. The only way to heal the wounds is to recognize that it's not her, it's just a stimulus. It's just showing me what I'm walking around with and what I'm lashing out on people and what I'm giving the world and what I'm doing and how I'm responding. And if I'm having a bad day, everybody has to pay for it. Because that's how I'm used to things. And that's how I was in my house. And that's how I was to my parents. If I got into a fight, the rest of the house is miserable for the rest of the night. Because I feel that way. Who's going to stop me? And in that moment, you do these two steps. You say, I see. Thank you, I'm sorry, and you're clearing your nefesh, you're healing your wounds, and you will wake up 1 week later, or even 2 days later, with a whole new experience. And now it boils down to even, let's say, for example, you're walking with a friend, and you're having a hard day, or a bad day, or whatever, and you need to talk, and you need to lean on someone, and you need to be weak, and all she does is talk about herself. So in that moment, stop thinking to yourself, why do I have these friends? Why? Think to yourself right there, oh, how often do I totally disregard how he's feeling because I want to talk? How often do I make light of their situation because it's not a big deal to me, even though it's a big deal to them because, like, I have something to share? And then be a giver in that position. That's the healing. That's the healing. You see, and then you give. So she's being a taker right now, you be the giver. You be the giver. Don't think, oh, she's such a taker. Because if you think, oh, she's such a taker, guess what? You're thinking, who are you thinking that about? Yourself. Then you do the 2 steps. I'm sorry, Hashem, that I've been a taker for so many times, for so many years. And I'm sorry that I've been in this situation and I made another person feel like they don't matter. Please forgive me. And then in that position, you listen. And you're there, even if you don't feel like it. And that's very, very, very healing. Very empowering. And that is Ein Habdolach, my friends. It's very tricky. You'll forget about it. If you don't put it into practice, you forget about it. But if you practice it a lot, it'll stick. It'll stick and it'll save your life. Let me know how it goes. Any questions? Oh, well, pretty clear. Kabbalah 101, kol kavod to you. Really, I just want to say that you guys have been like so consistent, so on time, so amazing, so present, so like here, and like really, really dedicated to the work, dedicated to these classes, dedicated to yourselves, dedicated to your futures. I think you're amazing, and I love you so much, all of you, a lot, even you, Ben. I do.
Because you're so joyful.
What?
Because he's very joyful.
Very cheerful?
Of course.
Yes. Yes, he is.
That's why we love it.
Even though he's a little dark also. He hates those cheerful people.
Enough about me.
Is
What do you think about me? Enough about me. All right. Any questions? No? Okay, so I think, I
Vera, thank you.
don't know. Thank you.
All of my TV, everyone here. You started, it seems like the wise, but you really care about everyone. You genuinely care, and that's why we really hope you'll be a big part of my TV.
Looking forward.
We've got like news flash, in February, Vera's back, the whole new series.